Greetings, this is the man who pretends to be Charles Darwin, and you're probably getting really tired of this by now. Yet another nature video from a forest outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I guess one point is that if you can do it in Tulsa, you can probably do it anywhere in terms of finding interesting nature stories. So keep your eyes open and find your own stories. And I'm going to start with what seems like an impossible statement, a stupid statement actually. There is no such thing as color. Now, light, the photons of light, do come in different wavelengths. However, it is a continuum of different wavelengths. What we consider to be red light is somewhere around 680 nanometers of wavelength, whereas what we consider to be blue light is around 450 nanometers of wavelength. And then there's all kinds of wavelengths in between. As a matter of fact, it's just a continuum of wavelengths in between. And yet, when you look at a rainbow, in which you have a continuum of wavelengths, it looks to us like bands of color. And so what I'm saying is those bands of color do not really exist. Different wavelengths of light exist, but different colors do not exist. That is an illusion created by our brains. And our brains make us see different wavelengths of light as different colors, but only a few discrete bands. If each wavelength had its own color, that would be so totally confusing to us that we wouldn't be able to interpret it. It would be worse than nothing at all. It would be far worse than just having a black and white sort of vision. And so why is that? Well, it turns out that color is a useful illusion. It tells us about things that we would otherwise have to be able to stop and figure out. But when you're an animal looking for food really fast, color is a quick source of information for you. So here's an example right here. Green, somewhere around 600 nanometers of wavelength. The red, somewhere around 700 nanometers of wavelength, do not necessarily look very different until after the visual cortex of the brain interprets them. And then when fruits get ripe, and they're ready to eat, the seeds are mature, and the plant is ready for animals to come along and eat them, they will advertise that fact by having the fruits become red. But that's of little use if red is simply another wavelength of light. But if red looks really different from green, then animals can quickly eat it. Most animals are on the edge of starvation. They don't have time to stop and think about wavelengths of light. They'll just go and eat red things. And that is apparently the evolutionary reason for why we're able to see different bands of colors. Our primate ancestors depended upon seeing different colors of ripe fruit, especially red and yellow. This is Charles Darwin. Tally ho.